Happy 4th of July. Welcome back. Um, I hope that you're having a great weekend and doing something that makes you happy, full of joy and celebration, and just enjoying these days that we try to make the best of them, right? Because every day something new, or could be something new if you allow it to be. We're also in Cancer season. Cancer season is about like love, like your emotions, feeling very domestic, maybe wanting to spend time with family, maybe wanting to spend time with people close to you. And really also maybe diving into things that are making you feel sensitive, maybe your own insecurities and how you can learn to work with them better. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive, isn't it? Things are changing in real time. Did you guys see the couple that got engaged on the Empire State Building? Because that was literally for me like, look, wait. Oh, this lighting. Yeah. I cried. I literally cried. I was like, they're so badass and they're also so cute. And like that love story felt so close to home. It hit so good. Other than that, I've been learning to live a slower life. What I found out about myself was that a lot of the overachieving, the needing to get things done was actually out of a dysregulated nervous system state. And out of that state, it was more about like force and pressure and just having to keep going to keep myself busy so that I could create my reality faster than, I was allowing myself to, or wanting to, I guess, because it was still like, I want to escape the present moment by creating a new future. So I had to kind of pull that back in, learn to enjoy the present moment, learn to stop being so attached to things going on and around, and, always needing to see results, things like this. And what I've come to realize is like, when my nervous system is in a more regulated state, it's not just okay, it was very conflicting for me because I like being full of energy. I love being full of energy. I love going quickly. Like that was one of my favorite things to do. But the fact was that it was coming from a dysregulated state. So it gave you that kind of manic feeling, and maybe that was a little bit unhealthy. So now that I've been regulating, coming back into balance, things are much clearer, and when I'm tapping in energetically, it very much feels like I can feel deeper into things. I can pick up on more subtle influences and pay more attention to things and dive deeper, really. So it was conflicting for me at first because I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't feel as energized as I used to, blah, 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 all these things. But it's like, oh, you were only energized because you were still in fight or flight, because you were still outrunning your past or your emotions or your current situations. So I was looking at some people online, like they got sick from living this fast lifestyle, being constantly dysregulated, and because of it, this girl got ill, and she had to move to a state where she couldn't do, like, things weren't accessible like they are in California, or in the city. I don't know about parts of California, but things are so accessible everywhere. So everything's instant gratification. So the way when you start living a slower life, like, there is a lot of spaciousness you feel. Very, very, like, it is peace, but what it feels like is nothing's happening, which isn't a bad thing, because things can always be happening internally behind the scenes that you can't see. It's just like life is lifing, but you're in this little peaceful bubble where it's not really touching you. So it makes you feel a little uncomfortable because you're just like, well, I'm just stagnant, but it's not true. You are becoming rooted, grounded, stable. And in the process, purifying yourself from old mindsets, old limiting beliefs, old things that make you worry, because things that make you worry are what triggers your nervous system. So how are you reframing those worries into everything's always working out for me? It always works out. It's always perfect. It really does. And when we allow that surrender to take place and be like, you know what, I'm on your time now, spirit, I'm just gonna walk and you're gonna just lead the way. And things get a lot easier and you don't really have to stress as much and you can really find more joy in things. So, enough about me. Let's get into you. I really tried to make this camera less white face, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, so sorry. But check out this new jacket. It's leather and suede. Pretty sick. Okay, we're gonna start with a chakra card, or two, because that's what Spirit gave us. We're starting with the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, grace. The grace of a higher power is with me, and I move through life knowing this truth. Beautiful. So when you're beating yourself up about for your past mistakes, about for anything that you feel is making you feel less than about yourself, give yourself grace, because like this whole thing is a process of transformation. You're going to continuously be transforming, and you have to have grace with yourself through this. The thing about especially stopping, I'm not going to be the person that was written for me. I'm not going to be that person that has to play this role in the story that I was given. It's like, you're going to definitely need to have grace with yourself when you're leaving behind patterns, when you're leaving behind behaviors. Yeah, that's not actually your behavior. That's an ancestral behavior that was written and handed to you. You don't have to take it on as your own. And when you release that, say, I'm just going to let this go. You don't need to right the wrong of the pattern. You don't need, all you need to do is let it go and just don't be that person anymore. It's literally that easy. But because of the human mind wants perfection, wants to be good, wants to be all this, then what happens is you want to trust that the transformation is the thing that's going to make it right, right? Just not being that version is going to make that right, instead of having to go back and do something to counteract. Like you'll find all that along the way. You won't need to go out seeking it. I believe in a higher power, and I know that it is within and around me, offering assistance and guidance. And that really has to be the center of your journey, because when you're acting from ego, desires, selfishness, you're never going to find the fulfillment. The fulfillment comes from doing what you've come here to do, walking the purpose. And it will help people, but you have to help yourself first. So the divine helps those who wish to help themselves, and then the divine helps through you to help others. But first and foremost, it starts with you surrendering to something greater and a greater path, a higher self path, a higher mission path. We all know the animalistic path, right? Sleep, eat, survive, do what needs to be done. It's very basic needs oriented, and it's very primal. And once we learn to come into right relationship with the lower nature, the animalistic nature, and find reverence in it, it is not, yes, the shadow, because we're human beings and we are intellectual, we are civilized, all these things. When we watch hunt happen in the wild, right, it can be revered as beautiful, the cycles of life. When somebody murders somebody, that's absolutely not okay. what it is it's somebody in their lower nature that has let it take them completely over because they haven't had that consciousness, that higher self aspect come in and say, okay, we are more intelligent now than just mating, eating, sleeping, surviving, killing, all the things that animals do. So we can learn to come into right relationship with that, understanding like those beings have allowed, and what people want to call the darkness, the lower nature, to take over. And what happens from there, the basic concept of it is that their animalistic nature has taken over. The beast within, some may say. So when you're the opposite of that, and you're too much in your higher mind, then you can neglect the lower nature, the basic needs, the material realm. And when you do that, well, then nothing's going to be really going on in your material world because you're spending all your time bypassing things that you should have been looking at from a middle standpoint. So what you want to do is you want to merge those two natures together to create a whole. And in doing so, you can really walk your path more appropriately, I feel like. It's really important to make peace with the lower nature because this is the part that we want to shove down and deem unacceptable. And when we do that, that's what we resist persists. So you're going to push it down, and it's going to start your life because you are calling it bad, but really you have to have a balance of all things in your life. I surrender all my fears and burdens to a higher power. You don't need to be afraid. The light of God is within your heart. You are God, and that light of God keeps you protected at all times. There is nothing to fear. Once you learn that you co-create your reality, you really can start working with this power to tweak things to the ways that you want them. I am open to receive grace, and I trust in a higher power. I am worthy. You are worthy. You've been worthy this whole entire time. You've come here with these patterns, this animalistic nature, this story, so that you can shed it and come into a new evolved human. The new human evolution is happening in real time. We're going from one way to another way, and you're a part of the evolution. Just as you can see the squirrel evolved into a flying squirrel, well, guess what? There were first squirrels that came and it started adapting, and then over time, all of the wings came out. That basically is what's happening, but on a consciousness level. So this is an intellectual, spiritual merging with the lower animalistic nature, which is causing the new human to be created, which is going to cause many things. It's just evolution. Evolution happens. Things are all temporary. Nothing stays the same, but everything is in divine order. That's the truth. I think when we get too attached to like what we think should be going on, what we are frustrated about, things like this, it's like, just learn to tweak your reality and understand that all of these things are in place for a reason. All of this pressure is meant to create the new humans. All of this darkness is to show up in the light of consciousness what an evolved human being would do, because we're not animals, or we would be out in the wild living with them. Okay, we have the fifth chakra, throat chakra, communication. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. And this is important because a lot of people hold what they want to say. They don't just say how they feel because they feel like they need to walk on eggshells and appease others. And the more that you suppress your truth, the more that you suppress your voice, the more you lose your own self-expression, and the more you feel insecure, and then you feel afraid because all your chakra in your throat is being blocked. My aim is to be fully understood by others. That can be your aim, sure, but remember, don't attach to that either, because people will not understand you. Especially if you're one of the new humans and then you're talking to one that hasn't had an upgrade in their system yet. I am open to giving and receiving praise. I will be careful not to talk excessively and make it all about me as I create space in my conversations for others to communicate with me. This I really like because of the fact that when you listen to people, practice listening, because this society has come to a point where we are all overstimulated and nobody can pay attention because they're all scrolling through reels and their focused attention span is like this. And so when you're halfway through the conversation, they're already in their head thinking they didn't even hear the last thing that you said. So in this society, listening is a great gift to have. Not only that, the universe speaks through others for you to acknowledge things within yourself. So if I am believing a certain way and then somebody comes up in front of me and says something that might shift that way of thinking, that you work to your advantage. Use the world as a mirror. And if you're not listening, then you can't decipher properly. If you have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, you will. But if not, then you're just going to be a part of the game. Now, as well as I am going to give out, I like to personally tell people how I think they are great or what they're doing right. And sometimes if they are vulnerable with me, I will tell them what they're hiding from themselves as well. And it's not always an easy conversation to have, and it's not always, but I can see that they're seeking it. And I have this ability where it's like I can pinpoint the dark bubble and zoom in on it and then see exactly what is going on. And this is an ability I've been really realizing I have lately. And I know my intuition tells me when to openly express that to the person because they are looking for answers, or when to hold that back because maybe the truth, they're not ready for it. But when I can sense somebody's ready for the truth, I'm going to say it. I do give compliments more often than I probably give these truth bombs. Unless it's like, somebody coming openly to me, like I said. But the other side of it is I like to make people know like where they are like special and talented and that they're doing something good out there in this world, or if they're, just how I see them, because I see people for what they bring, not for what they lack. I see them for what they are capable of and their potential, which isn't always a great thing because not everybody is ready to live up to their potential. But communication, practice it, get the throat chakra moving, especially if you have social anxiety, because that's going to help you to work your way through that. I inquire about others' thoughts and feelings, as listening to their truth can be uplifting. That's exactly what I just said, too. Sometimes somebody has gone through something that you're going through now, and when you sit and listen to them and they tell you their stories, I think people's stories are amazing. When you're listening to their stories, you can always, same with myths, when you're listening to the stories, it's always, you can reflect it back to something in your life and learn. Every single person in this world can be a teacher to you if you allow them to be and you put your pride down, because everyone's experience is different. And I mean, even if you're learning how not to be because of how somebody's treating you that you don't like, that's still something you can learn. And there's still things that these people have been through that you probably have not been through. And I'm not saying sit there and talk to people that are harmful, but I'm just saying when you listen to people, there's always something that can be gained, some little nuggets of knowledge. Okay, so I'll do one spirit ally and then we'll do the tarot. Okay, spirit quartz. Spirit quartz takes on an entirely unique shape, as smaller crystals can be found growing on top of the larger face of the crystal. Often found as a delicate purple or pink, this stone is a symbol of your true inner spirit and divine love. I am a creation of universal love. You are being reminded that you are loved and worthy of love. The universe and your guides care for you and want the best for you, even though it may not seem like it when times get hard. Everything falls within divine timing and happens for a reason. When you are learning at this moment, or what you are learning at this moment is invaluable information that will help you grow and connect with others so that they may do the same. You are breaking karmic cycles and the stigma around igniting change. It is powerful work. But you have a divine support system that is rooting for you all the way. In what areas of my life or in which relationship is Spirit calling me to be more loving? I love that. It's always, the answer always goes back to love. The answer is always going to be love, because even the most difficult people, like I'm gonna say it again, it's not about overgiving, it's just about being kind and thoughtful and treating others the way that you would want to be treated and respecting life. It's not about anything more than I value respect, and I value people that respect me, so I'm going to respect them. Because I value love, and I know what it feels like to not have love, and is why I'm gonna always be loving and kind. And I understand for myself that sometimes I get in my own way by caring so much about how others take my words or take my actions, and because I don't want to harm them. And I also realize that in itself is ego too, because it's coming from a wounded state, and if people are harmed by what I say, that's their stuff to deal with, and I can't be responsible for the way people take what I say, and I can't keep holding back all the time because it's not good for me. So all I can do is move forward and be my true self, and my true self speaks up. I always have. It's just who I've always been, and I've learned to deliver a lot nicer, so that's good. But maybe you're going through the same thing, but it always comes back to love. And sometimes love is triggering, and sometimes love triggers so that it can show someone where they can learn to be more loving, or where they're not loving themselves. So I think the hardest part is learning when to get the mind out of the way and just allow the expression to come up, and not judge yourself for it and not shame yourself for it. All right, so I have the tarot cards out now already, face down. So let's see. For the theme, oak. So we have the Seven of Swords, which is karmic cycles and situations. Self-sabotage, but this is like the end of it, because this is like a painful ending. So there's karmic cycles coming to a painful close. Maybe even a betrayal. Maybe you have been sabotaging yourself. Yeah, okay. So I think you've been sabotaging yourself by maybe staying in isolation too long, or withdrawing yourself from happy experiences. Maybe. But this could also mean that you're saying no to karmic experiences as well. This could also mean that you are deciding that you're done saying yes to things that you know are bad for you. So in the recent past, you have been moving away from these things. You're not really with the karmic energy anymore. That's what it feels like. It feels like you've been slowly moving away. And instead of looking back at what it is that you're moving away from, you're looking forward into what it is you're moving into. Or that's what you were doing in the recent past. But either way, whether you were over hyperly fixated on the past and the karmic experiences, or whether you were daydreaming about the future, whatever it was, you have been in your head. You still haven't been present, though. You still haven't been fully experiencing things in the here and now. Or you weren't in the recent past. There's a lot of worries and fears maybe that had come up about the new beginning, and also about what happened in the past. In the present, it looks like you're moving towards building success in some sort of way. And you're doing this from a passionate place. It's not coming from your ego anymore. It's coming from drive. Like, what I feel is like this pure primal drive in my sacral and my root chakra, instead of the impulsivity that you were maybe moving from previously. Yeah, you're moving right into a successful new beginning. So this full came up also in the past. So basically, this new beginning has been hanging out around you for quite a while. And before you were peeping it, but now you're stepping into it, and it's full throttle into it. You know, it is listening to both the angel and the devil on your shoulder, and maybe not even deciding which one is right, but just looking at both and moving forward anyway. I don't think you're demonizing the dark anymore. I think you're utilizing it as a tool to help you grow, which is phenomenal, because that means that you've come into unity and you've accepted that separation is an illusion, because it is in fact an illusion. And your devils and your demons and your enemies are here to create that pressure and poke at your weak spots in order for you to fortify and become stronger, and to use that energy as allies to love darker parts of you that you wouldn't have seen unless this person, place, or thing popped up right in front of you, suggesting that this is a aspect of you as well that you could learn to love, which I think is beautiful. I think that you are integrating. So in the future, you have saying goodbye to things that felt familiar from the past, nostalgic, things that were a part of the story that were written for you, like I was talking about that. This is what the family loved, this is what I was brought up to love, and so this is what I love. But now it's like I'm ready to let it go and feel the loss of it. And also, it's like it's beautiful. It's alchemy is what it is. You're turning your pain into your power. You're taking this grief, this sadness that you feel, and you're transforming it into passion and fuel to find out what it is that you're really wanting to go after, really. Because you have this spark of something within you, and it's never got loud enough because you've never allowed the transformation to take place, where you shed all those old things and allow the transformation to take place that fuels that inner spark. And when it looks like in the near future, this is what's happening, is that you're being stripped of everything, and the spark is being ignited brighter than it ever has been before. It's beautiful. The outside influences here are Oh, sorry, it's not the outside influence. It's the best course of action. You have the Lovers and you have the Ten of Pentacles. So it's to find comfort in love, in relationships, in partnerships, and this is what I was talking about with the... It seems to me like you're shedding the pattern of feeling like it's me against the world. Feeling like you can't trust anyone. Distrust is leaving, and it's like, you know that everybody is either gonna be someone you learn a lesson from or somebody you can be in an alliance with. And in that knowing, there's a security and a comfort that comes with the path that you're on, because now you're not afraid of people. Exactly. It's like those subconscious fears and blocks and the illusion that people are trying to harm you. What you realize is it's all about acceptance. It's self-acceptance, that there is darkness that lives within all of us, because we are all human. We all have the animalistic nature, and we are all everything because God is all everything. And now that we know this, we can love the dark parts too. That means acknowledging that, yes, I have the capability to become these dark aspects of myself. Maybe at one point I even did it, but I'm not going to do that anymore, because now I have self-control and I've emotionally regulated enough where I don't have to pop off like that anymore, because now I know the name of the game and I'm actually on my way out of the story that was written for me. So my subconscious cannot hold me back anymore with the fear of people, insecurity, judgment, things like this. That's the best course of action for you. The outside influence is the Knight of Spears and the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles talks about your foundation. Talks about... this could be something you've built already. But then you got the Knight of Spears here, which wants to come in and cut things out. So maybe you're cutting out something that you've built. Some sort of foundation that has been built on some sort of emotions that no longer exist. Which makes sense. Because once you heal the wound... then the pattern doesn't work anymore. And you won't feel passionate about the same things anymore. So what you're seeking to do is cut out the things that don't belong anymore, so that you can come into the new beginning in love, partnership, romance, emotional fulfillment. You're weeding out the old emotions to make room for the new. And it's like bubbling up. It's like, I see the love is already bubbling up. It's already waiting there. It's like, okay, so if this is you, right? Let's just say the cup is you, right? And then the hearts are being let go, right? So that's the old emotions being let go. But as the letting go is happening and your consciousness is focused on that, if you look closer, the bubbling up is already starting for something new. And that's how my mind is interpreting it. It's like the new's already here, but it's underneath. You just can't see it yet because you're still purging the old. But it's coming. So what you hope is that that's it. You're starving out karmic cycles. You're leaving out karmic people. And you're working hard towards what it is you want. It's simple as that. But what you're afraid of here is walking away from these karmic situations and cycles and never finding any stability from it. Like being alone, being unstable, being like in the unknown, the uncertain forever. You're afraid of being alone. You're afraid maybe you'd rather be in a karmic cycle than be alone. It's a valid fear. It's just like quitting an addiction. It's like now I have to sit by myself without the substance that I used that was my companion, right? No, nobody, I mean, look at how hard addicts try not to leave their addiction behind because it's all they've known. So they don't have their self-belief. They believe they need to be codependent on this drug for, whatever it is, their health, their balance, their whatever it is. So this could be the same thing as if you were relied on somebody else for something, or any karmic cycle for anything. But the karmic cycle is always going to be purified and sent in a divine replacement, as long as you're making sure you're communing with the divine and asking that it is so. It's funny because the fear is like the same thing. It's like the hope is the walking away and starving it out, right? And the fear is the walking away and then not getting the desired outcome. It's quite interesting. Okay, so let's go on to what the overall possible outcome will be. Okay, so it looks like you are in fact nurturing that loss of that toxic thing. You're moving away from it. And I think there's opposition. Energies around you that do not want you to leave this, which is causing a lot of inner conflict. But ultimately, what is happening is that you're not going to feel regretful for doing this anymore. I think that you're sick of it. I think you're sick of feeling guilt and you're sick of feeling regret, and you're balancing yourself out by loving yourself unconditionally. You're saying, no, you guys can make me feel bad about this because you want me to stay stuck and chained and bound. But for me, I'm going to love that I want something different for myself, and I'm going to love my flaws. And I'm also going to love that I went through this toxicity because now I know how I can help somebody get out, or I can build further from it, or now I know what I don't want. Whatever it is, your reasoning for it, you're finding the beauty of it. You're finding it to be enthralling. You've never wanted to walk away from something so much to learn. And with the Chariot here, it's like you're loving up on your dark side so much that nobody can use it against you because it taught you so much. And how could you not love it, right? It's a part of you. It's like, do I not love my child because she is a little crash out and like fights everybody? Of course not. I love her. She's my kid. She's my daughter. I love her no matter what. And that is how you're nurturing your own inner child back. The parts of you that maybe your parents couldn't love, and the parts of you that were repressed, and the parts of you that maybe did monstrous things. Like, let's be honest, when we are unconscious in darkness, especially people that have come out of addictions, drug use, we have done some shit that people would love to use against us to make us feel bad about ourselves once we gain our confidence back. And this is the reason why your dark side, you have to love up on it, and you have to be best friends with it. And it is what it is. We have it. It's in us. We have to acknowledge it, or else it will take over because it will be repressed. And I'm not talking, and that's why people who are in the churches that repress all their gosh darn things and then later are revealed as pedophiles is because they're neglecting their shadow aspects, and now they're coming up to rain hell down upon them. It's alchemy. But what is happening is that, yes, you're nervous. Yes, you have anxiety. But there is a truth that you know now that you can't avoid any longer. And so you will walk away from this because at the end of the day, that is going to be a win in itself. And it's like, yes, you want to have multiple wins, but that one win you know you're going to feel lighter after this. Yeah. And then people are going to be afraid to fuck with you too. Because you're going to get that King of Swords energy. And you're going to not let people play in your face for shit. This is the incoming energy that you're about to embody. After being the Page of Swords, so you're going from being the Page of Swords, someone that's very scared, someone that watches everybody and probably is an empath and knows things about them and can read others, but never really steps out into the forefront. And now you're going to be the King of Swords, who is protective of himself, of his path, of his light, because by loving the shadow, you become more enlightened, because you're not demonizing things. You're also not perpetuating cycles. You are just understanding more fully. And so when somebody comes at you in a provoking way or to try to bring down your confidence, you're going to have those sharp moments where you get to cut them down through your words, our actions, or energy, and you don't have to feel bad for it anymore because now you've integrated the shadow and you understand that this is a useful side to you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, because there are going to be some people coming in as shit stirrers, right? Wanting to challenge you and doing dirty things to maybe keep you clouded, foggy, indulging in things that are bad for you, and anxiety, fear, and lack. So be aware of that. That's why you don't let people take shit. You don't take shit from anyone. That's why you give, because it's who you choose to be. If you don't feel called to give, don't give, right? You have... the tables have turned for you. Your sight is clear now. These people aren't going to be able to get shit past you. Period. You have been through too much already. You have let people treat you in so many ways already for too long. You have allowed them to cloud up your judgment and steer you in the wrong directions. And it's a King of Swords again, and now you're ready. You're about to fuck shit up and reclaim your life. I love this for you. The Emperor, Divine Masculine. Yes, you're taking fucking charge. You're taking control of your own life. You're coming into right relationships with the word no. So you are learning to defend yourself by not placing yourself around these people, places, or things, because that's not true to your heart. So it's like you're learning how to be true to your heart, and at the same time, what is going to serve your highest path forward while remaining level-headed. So you want your heart and your heart and your mind to be on the same page. And this is the way that you know emotional fulfillment is going to come in. And this is what you want to celebrate, because you're tired and done working in these relationships that are of convenience or of like transaction. It's like you're never actually the happiest you can be. It's like low-level happiness, and you're done with it. It's not the emotional fulfillment. It's like, I'm a little bit happy because I'm content, but there's got to be more. That's the energy that I'm feeling. And that's why you're moving away from it, because you're ready to find something grand, right? Because if this story isn't what's written for you, well then, what is? How exciting. You're stepping into the unknown. And the funny thing is, when you step into the unknown, you just keep stepping into the unknown, because you never really know, because Spirit gives you one step, and then you take it, and then you wait for the next step, and then you take it. And so basically, you're in this unknown state until you establish yourself in a fuller way. I have been in the unknown state for a very long time, but I can tell you things are constantly getting better. It's always like the way that you build a foundation is by starting internally so that the external around you shifts. So it's always first about shedding patterns, shedding beliefs, shedding ways of being before you get into this more divinely expressed state. And when you're that way, you can really start building your divine foundation. And it does require building. It's not a instant thing. It requires work and dedication, and so then you have to work on the discipline and all the other things that come along with it. But yeah, this is what I have for you for today. Let's get an Angels and Auras card. Oh, so you got Archangel Chamuel, but in reverse. It talks about anxiety, burden, restlessness, and despair. Chamuel is much like a counselor or an angelic therapist. Since happiness is difficult to connect with when we are not at peace, Chamuel may be holding out his hand to you to say, "Tell me your problems, child, and I will help you." He has the ability to comfort your anxiety and undo any tunnel vision that has you focused on the emergencies of the moment. See, that's what I was talking about, how I was always like, oh no, I need this, I gotta do this. And they're like, slow down. You have to, now we're forcing you. They force me all the time. They force me all the time. But I love them so much. But I've surrendered to my divine path, so I can allow them to force me. Okay, he has the ability to comfort your anxiety and undo any tunnel vision that has you focused on the emergencies of the moment. If you allow it, Chamuel can be the angelic equivalent of a loving partner who takes their hand and places it under your chin, under your sin. Maybe your sin needs a little love too. And says, look up. The message for the shadow sign of the light green represents being overextended to the point of anxiety and restlessness. Now is the time to observe your energy management and pull back. Give yourself permission to take things off of your schedule and recharge. That's what I did all week because I felt that. So maybe. The funny thing is so I have like a list of things that I do, and then it's like once I wipe it clean, it's like, then I give myself all the time to rest, so I rest for like a day, and then the next time I'm like, oh, I actually do want to do some of the things, but I don't have to do all the things, but I will do some of the things. And then you start feeling better, and then you start wanting to do more of the things, because then you get to cross off some stuff, and it makes your brain happy and all those things. So just do what works for you. For me, it's like that because I'm a little bit neurotic at times, so I'm working on that. And I felt like that was more of a issue with the nervous system being dysregulated, because now I don't really feel like that. Now I can really just kind of look at things and be like, yeah, well, it'll happen in divine timing, like everything does. It'll all happen when spirit allows it to happen. All right, angels and ancestors. The stag, trust and thrive. This is again about being in a grounded energy. Maybe you should get outside and go on the earth if you're feeling ungrounded. The stag, it's very masculine energy, very provider, protector, But think about a stag. If it was like anxious and restless, it would be acting crazy and just probably butting everyone out with these dang horns, antlers that it's got, and fucking shit up and probably hurting itself, probably self-sabotaging its own life because it's restless. But when it gets grounded and allows itself time to rest, and it can get stable, and then it can be like, all right, I'm gonna lock in to my hunt or whatever the fuck it does. So in order to become somebody who is thriving and not surviving, you have to be in a state of grounded stability. When your nervous system is dysregulated and you're all over the place, then your nervous system cannot hold basically abundance and thriving. You have to allow your nervous system to expand, to settle, and when it does, you can be open to holding more. But until that happens, you won't be able to, because your nervous system literally will not allow it. So you can always look up things to do to regulate your nervous system as well. It's yoga, it's dancing, it's self-expression, speaking, spending time with loving people. There's all kinds of things. Journaling, it's emotional safety. You need to make sure you're telling yourself you're safe and regulating your emotions properly. And one more dragon with the dragons, because you know we love the dragons around here. It's so ancient, so beautiful. God, I love feeling dragon energy just as like I hold this deck. It's like they're so powerful. Their energy comes in so loudly. So happy, so powerful, so free. Okay, makes sense. First off, make sure you're praying, because you know, when you pray or declare over your life, you're asking or presenting to spirit what you wish to create / manifest. And the shadows with the gifts, which is basically what I was talking about, how you were loving on your shadow side, the dark side within, and in doing so, you're becoming initiated. So this is your underworld initiated. You could have recently gone into one of your lower hell realms to complete a cycle of karmic baggage. So when this happens, a pattern will perpetuate that maybe you thought was over already, for you to gain a new insight from it, and in doing so, gain control over this shadow as well. Like, I am aware of it, and now I'm gonna choose to love it and to utilize it when it is necessary, but for the most part, it's gonna stay self-control in my back pocket for when I need it, right? And in doing that, you're initiating your higher powers and becoming more whole and complete within yourself, because you're not repressing that dark aspect of yourself. All right, well, that's what I have for you today. I hope you have a great 4th of July. God bless America. And I'll see you next time. And if you want to book with me, you can email me at cosmicfractaloflight@gmail.com.